evolving marketplace, marketing has evolved into a data driven, customer centric function. Marketers are at the forefront of this transformation. Keeping this in perspective, KIIT School of Management's 15th National Marketing Conclave is themed Marketing in the Age of Disruption. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I, Biyut,
And I, Sonali,
welcome all guests from eminent corporates, dignitaries from KIIT University, respected faculty members, non teaching members, and student participants to the 15th National Marketing Conclave on the theme Marketing in the Age of Disruption.
to start this occasion on an auspicious note, I request all the dignitaries to come to the stage and light the inaugural lamp.
I request all the guests to please come on stage. Thank you, dignitaries. I request the guests to kindly take their seats. May I request our keynote speaker, Mr. Pathasina, to please come on stage? I request the dignitaries to receive bouquets from our students.
This part of Bhubaneswar is home to two world-class universities, Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology and Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, both founded by Professor Dr. Achyuta Samanta, a visionary social architect, humanitarian, philanthropist, and one of India's greatest educational leaders. Professor Samanta embarked on a social development mission in 1992 using education as the strategic medium to eradicate poverty. His immense contribution in the field of art, culture, literature, and education has fetched him over 200 national and international awards and 59 honorary doctorates from across the world.
Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences is world's first exclusive indigenous tribal university. It believes in education for all and provides free education to more than 30,000 children representing 62 tribes across India. It is a melting pot of diverse tribal cultures, heritage, and languages. Amongst the various accolades it has achieved, it has been awarded with a leadership award by the National Commission for Scheduled Tribes and has been recognized with the highest honor in the world for literacy by the UNESCO International Literacy Prize 2022.
KIIT University, having more than 40,000 students from 65 countries, is India's first 5-star rated university in QS ratings of 2021. It was felicitated as one of India's most influential educational brand 21-22 at the 18th Asian Business and Social Forum. KIIT has been ranked 10th in India and 168th globally by the Times Higher Education Young University Rankings 2024. Recently, KIIT has been awarded with the prestigious Special Consultative status by the United Nations Economic and Social Council. This remarkable recognition places KIIT among an elite group of institutions worldwide, excelling not only in terms of education but also in sports and extracurriculars. 12 students from the university represented India in the Paris Olympics 2024, making it amongst the top universities in the country to be sending a large contingent of athletes.
KIIT School of Management, Bhubaneswar, is one of the top B schools of India. It has been awarded with the Best B School of Odisha by the Times Business Awards 2023. Its BBA program has been ranked second best in the country by the Times India Rankings 2024.
Our knowledge partner for this conclave is Contemporary, which deals with knowledge and business solutions. It provides transformative solutions which will help new age business cope with present and future challenges in the areas of talent and human resource management.
I take this opportunity to invite Professor Joydeep Biswas, convener 15th National Marketing Conclave, to set the context of the conclave.
eminent leadership of the university present in the audience, revered faculty colleagues, and dear lovable KTNs. Welcome to the 15th National Marketing Conclave of KIT School of Management. To set the context of this conclave themed on marketing in the age of disruption, I shall just address 2 points: the why, the what. The first point is why the theme marketing in the age of disruption. We all have heard of the proverb, change is the only constant, and have known it to be true over the years. However, what we have recently realized is that in the present times, the scale and significance of the changes are so drastic that the right word to describe them is disruption. These ongoing disruptions have influenced every single aspect of our lives. So how can business domains, including marketing, stay unaffected by these current disruptions? Hence, when all my marketing faculty colleagues deliberated on this year's conclave theme, marketing in the age of disruption seemed most appropriate, contemporary, and consequential. Let's hear Yuval Harari, one of the most respected modern-day historian and philosopher, talk about latest disruptions and corroborate what we just discussed.
No, it's like we had 10 people around the table having a discussion, a civil discussion, I don't know, like they had in the 50s. And then they allowed more people, more groups to join. They said, okay, let's have some women and black people and LGBT people and so forth. And now everybody can write a blog and everybody can voice their opinion. And suddenly what happened is that so many new opinions appear, so many new interests, and it's becoming frightening. It's becoming chaotic. The old rules no longer apply, and we don't know what the new rules are. And we've passed through several such cycles, which often are based on a new technology. A good historical example is the invention of print, or the appearance of print in the late Middle Ages and early modern period. Many people think that print was just a wonderful thing that led to the scientific revolution, but most books that were printed at that time were conspiracy theories about witches and Jews and whatever. And it took time to build new institutions of trust, like newspapers, like academic publishers. So this is the old thing, it's the old cycle. But the new thing is that there is a kind of alien presence on Earth. A new alien intelligence has invaded our life, not from a distant planet, but from the laboratories. Artificial intelligence, and this is something new. It's a game changer, because unlike all previous information technology, it can make decisions on its own. It can analyze us. It can hack us. The printing press couldn't do it. The radio couldn't do it. But the new technology can do it. And for the first time in history, it is becoming possible to hack human beings and therefore also to manipulate human beings on an unprecedented scale. And we don't know how to deal with it. We really have no traditions about how to deal with it because it never existed before in history.
Thanks. Now that I've addressed the why of the context, let me share a bit on what. What have organizations and marketers been doing to handle such diverse set of disruptions, including social, political, technological, medical, or cultural? To drive home that point, I just shared three simple illustrations, one each of technological, cultural, and social disruptions. Can we play the first video of a technological disruption?
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day, this lecture hall will be made of code. And though they're virtual students, what they'll learn together is real. A surgeon will be able to practice as many times as needed in the metaverse before laying her hands on a real patient. These students aren't really back in 32 BCE, but they can still watch Mark Antony debate in ancient Rome. The metaverse may be virtual, but the impact will be real.
So that's an example of technological disruption, and it is not in the future, it is happening with us today, and marketers have to deal with it and drive it. Let's look at a cultural disruption with one of a very, very popular brand.
Right now, Kuljit is launching a company. Right now, Sunil is raising $1 billion. Right now, Kriti is breaking the internet. And Anjali is breaking a ceiling. Right now, hurdles are an unfamiliar word. Right now, Mars is just around the corner. Right now, self-belief is all that matters. Right now is better than it has ever been. Right now is the time of a better India. And it's time to find your place in it.
I'm sure that the youngsters in the audience definitely relate to the cultural disruption that Times of India campaign talks about. A perfect example of marketing in the age of cultural disruption. And the third brand, which is the most favorite brand for me, the brand closest to my heart. Any guesses from the students? It is a brand that has social disruption at its core. It is a brand that is true to its principles of disrupting social barriers from the day it took birth. It is a brand that has shown the world how social disruptions can transform lives. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present a brand that is not merely a brand. That is a philosophy, a vision, a dream of a great leader who is changing humanity for the greater good.
Located in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, is the world's exclusive tribal university, Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, with several collaborations including special consultative status by UN Economic and Social Council. A slice of heaven where 27,000 tribal children pursue world-class education, from kindergarten to post-graduation, with residential, healthcare, vocational and life skills training to empower them, learning in their own style, their mother tongue. The little birds are nurtured with care and devotion and develop a capacity to aspire for a better future. There is food for comprehensive development and fodder for thought process. A touch of modernity as they grow amidst their tribal culture and heritage, embracing innovation by achieving excellence in academic and extracurricular activities, with equal emphasis on sport, a driving force of empowerment. A step towards implementing sustainable development goals by enabling and empowering generations for the last 25 years, making a stride for bringing tribal emancipation through holistic education. Welcome to Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, a home for 27,000 tribal children.
Can we have a big round of applause for our founder, sir, for creating such a positive social disruption? Thank you, guys. I hope you learn a lot, and I hope our corporate guests and leaders also enjoy the interaction with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. I would like to invite Professor Dr. Suvakanta Mohanty, Director, KIIT School of Management, to welcome the guests. Professor Suvakanta Mohanty holds a PhD in Applied Economics and Marketing from the University of Reading, England. Sir, please take the stage.
Good morning to all. Honorable Founder K10K's Professor Achyuta Samant sir in absence here. Honorable Vice Chancellor of KD University, Professor Saranjit Singh. Esteemed keynote speaker, Mr. Partha Sinha, Group President, Times of India. Professor Sumita Misra, Dean of MBA program, Professor Jaydev Biswas, convener of Marketing Konclave. Of the dais, we have Mr. Samir Panda, board member, vice president, corporate relation of KIT University. Dear Professor Kumar Mohanty, director, industry engagement. Dear Professor Subhasis Ghosh, Dean BBA program, my dear faculty colleagues, and Shraddha ma'am. All esteemed speakers, Mrs. Prachi Mohapatra, Mr. Samlal Patnaik, Mr. Radhakrishnan, Mr. V. Narayanan, Mr. Kuldeepak Sarma, Mr. Lalit Tejwani, Mr. Lalatendu Panda, Mr. Siddharth Das, Mr. Indranil Chaudhary, and Mr. Amit Mathur. Respected faculty colleagues, my dear students, I, on behalf of KIT School of Management and Honorable Founder, extend a warm greetings and hearty welcome to all the eminent speakers of the 15th National Marketing Conclave. Increasing uncertainties, technological advancement, globalization, change in socio-economic demographic have shaped consumer preference and buying behavior significantly. Staying ahead of the curve is the most important thing in 2024. Every time I think of the whole marketing thing that I have written down in the form of science, something changes in the blink of an eye. Keeping up with the latest marketing trends is not always easy. Maintaining a sense of relevance, staying with the consumer is vital to stay ahead. Marketers have taken many steps. You know that short-form video content, TikTok, YouTube, Reels, user-generated content reflecting brand values, native advertising, sponsored events, influential marketing, leveraging AI to increase efficiency, augmented reality, and virtual reality. All of them, they have taken, the marketers, they have taken these steps either to acquire and to retain the consumer base. Marketing has been a story of eras from mass marketing to segment-based direct marketing to all the way digital marketing and now data-driven marketing. Unfortunately, in their efforts to deliver data-driven marketing, high-quality customer experiences, marketers have stumbled. Customers are complex human beings, not just numbers in a spreadsheet or targets in an ad tech platform. Many economists such as Joseph Schumpeter come up with the idea of innovation and creative destruction, Richard Taylor through nudge theory, Daniel McFadden through choice experiment. They all have tried and explored to understand consumer preference and buying behavior. Everything has failed. Marketers cannot make any mistake. If you are not meeting expectation, customers will switch to competing products, alternatives, and substitutes available in the marketplace. Forrester Analytics says 54% of the consumers across the globe, they want to change their brand and products at a given point of time. Against this backdrop, this conclave is meant to deliberate, discuss, disseminate the best practices on how to exceed the expectation of the consumers and to stay ahead of the curve. I am confident that this conclave will be a catalyst for innovative ideas, collaborative, and bring collaborative solutions. Let us embark on this intellectual journey together, exploring the frontiers of marketing in the age of disruption. I'm sure the discussion and deliberation will help our students immensely. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you so much for your enlightening words, sir. Today, we are pleased to have with us Professor Dr. Saranjeet Singh, Vice Chancellor, KIIT deemed to be University. Sir, kindly address the gathering.
Thank you so much. Very good morning to one and all present here. Very distinguished chief guest of today's inaugural session, as well as the keynote speaker of 15th version of this National Marketing Conclave 2024 at School of Management, KIT University, Mr. Partha Sinhaji, President and Chief Brand Officer, Bennett and Coleman, all the esteemed colleagues on the dais. Of the dais, our esteemed Vice President, KIT and KIS, Mr. Samir Panda, all the esteemed speakers, guests of honors who will be delivering their thoughts and will be interacting with the students. And some of you I have met today morning very briskly and have exchanged my cards. Mr. Amit Mathurji, President Sales and Marketing, Finolex. Mr. Indranil Chaudhary ji from Aquatech. Mr. Kuldeep Sharma, Amar Raja Energy. Mr. Lalitendu Panda from Reliance Retail. Mr. Lalit Tejwani from Hind Rectifiers. Ms. Prachi Mahapatra from Star Kiran at Disney Star here at Bhubaneswar. Mr. Radha Krishnan, Mr. Shyamlal Patnaik, Mr. Siddharth Das, and Mr. V. Narayanan from Rane Group. All these team faculty members from School of Management, and more importantly, the young boys and girls who are being part of this inaugural session of the 15th version of the National Marketing Conclave. First of all, we are extremely thankful to all these team speakers and the thought leaders who have taken time from their schedule and have come all the way from various parts of country and being part of this inaugural session and this conclave as well, including the chief speaker of today's program. And on behalf of our honorable founder, Professor Dr. Achyut Samanta, and KIT and KISS entire fraternity, we welcome you, sir, here. As you know, this is the 15th version. And I think maybe during COVID, maybe 1 or 2 years if we have missed. So from last almost 2 decades, the School of Management has been doing different versions of national conclaves. So there is a long history of engaging with corporates, which is one clear indication looking at the number of versions of the event which we have done till date. On average basis, if I have to look, School of Management might be doing close to 10 to 15 events annually. And many events we have been doing and conducting at marketplaces where we go to Bangalore or Hyderabad or Delhi and we do that event under the banner of Contempo, which is one of our offshoots here from KIT. One of the chief reasons of working so closely with corporate is to bring the voice of corporate here back in the system and bounce off with all the stakeholders inside, and actually the faculty members to start with, and then try to align and realign our thoughts processes with respect to what industry actually requires. And KIT has been known for doing this and trying to be ahead of the curve as well as the competition. And when I say this is I'm saying about all the 30 schools which actually encompasses the KIT University, including School of Management. And why I've said this? Because when the theme of this marketing conclave is marketing in the age of disruption, so we at KIT are very conscious to understand the market trends and understand what's been happening at market, and especially the disruptions. And we try to, as I said, focus ourselves, refocus ourselves and our activities with respect to these disruptions which are coming in. Last 4 years, post-COVID, probably is a time when almost all the faculty members across maybe nation, across globe, have understood the importance of intervention of IT into education as well. We have been talking about online, digital learning, digital distance learning, and so on since ages. But it was been mere limited only for some executive programs. And I think last 4 years, maybe a mega shift. And when I say this, it is with respect to if you are following in trends of the regulator here in India, which is AICT, UGC, and Ministry of Higher Education, probably they have come up with new education policy. And this new education policy, NAP 2020, talks about one prime aspect of is about how probably we can open up frontiers where the voice of industry can come inside the education institution, and institution can partner with industries to march ahead and create industry-ready workforce. This is one of the objectives of NEP. But while achieving this objective, one of the matrices or one of the instruments which NEP brings in is such kind of events, which we have been doing since last 2 decades, as I mentioned. But it also brings in one very important vital aspect. And I give you an example of how we have been dealing with NEP here at undergraduate level, especially with changes in the curriculum and course structure. Right now, most of the undergraduate courses have been NEP compliant. So if you look into any engineering syllabus today here, as per NEP, you don't have a domain courses coming in more than 50% in the NEP course structure. So what is the rest 50%? The rest 50% are all interdisciplinary courses which comes across different schools. And now this is an advantage for universities like us. When we have more than 200 courses, we can bring in courses from School of Law, we can bring in courses from School of Management, Rural Management, Design, Humanities, and so on into engineering. And vice versa, it is also true. So I'm sure the importance here, what I'm trying to tell you is the interdisciplinary nature of the evolution of the curricula and keeping in mind what's happening in the marketplace. So for sure, this disruption which Industry 4.0 has brought in, not only in the business verticals, but also in the education sector has to be kept in mind. This particular symposium or conclave which has been happening, I'm sure our students must understand the importance of this. Because people will talk about how Industry 4.0, how IT platforms and AI and Gen AI has been disrupting marketing. And probably it will all around the data and how the data can be used for predictive analysis and so on and so on. And how to do the forecasting and the new trends of forecasting and new methods of forecasting maybe. Customer segmentation and so on and so on. But one thing which, taking some cues from what I heard from Professor Joy, our Honorable Director as well, is probably marketing in age of disruption. Some of you should talk about disruptive marketing as well. I feel so. So that is a concept which has evolved. So what is disruptive marketing? I think the students should know. And what are its basic pillars? And when you call it disruptive marketing and the future of disruptive marketing, how it is going to affect them when they go and join any company, that is very important. So the aspects of that is not only limited with IT or intervention of IT or maybe AI or Gen AI into marketing, but I think someone has been mentioning about AR, VR, and even mixed reality in that sense. So when that comes in, probably we will have avatars of Mr. Partha Sinha who will be sitting here, but might be handling maybe 10 such symposiums globally. And he could be physically not present, but maybe his digital clones might be present and will be delivering lectures. Now that can happen. Now this is one big disruption which will happen in education for sure. And we are also getting prepared in that direction. And for that, a lot of co-branded programs, a lot of co-branded industry electives, professors of practice from industries, which is all changes we are trying to bring in last 6 months. So from this platform, I request all of you that probably our directors, School of Management, our director, Corporation and Faculty Development, and other faculty members will reach out to you. And if you want to get associated with us, with respect to academics per se, which coming in the form of professor of practice, adjunct, or visiting faculty member, or being part of some course development which can be given on certain online platforms in a hybrid mode or maybe an online mode, or in whatever way you can bring value back to the system and education systems like this, probably we will be very happy. So with this, we again wish you a good stay here at KIT. I'm sure our people are taking good care of you. I'm sure the next half a day of the deliberation, especially with the first year and second year students with School of Management, will be very fruitful. Students, this is an opportunity for you to interact with the chief priests who have been actually practicing and professing their profession in the area of digital marketing and marketing as such. Take the utmost advantage of that. We will reach out to you maybe at the end of the evening. I'll come back again and would like to have a little deeper dialogues with most of you if time permits. But thank you for coming again to KIT. And thank you, sir, for honoring us as being the chief guest of today's program. And we look forward to hearing to your keynote session as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful words. As part of the conclave, we had organized a pan-India pre-conclave marketing simulation contest for postgraduate students. The competition was a huge success with 1,000+ teams participating across India, including students from prestigious institutions such as the IIMs, IITs, NITs, among others.
The winner of the competition is Team Brandazers from Great Lakes Institute of Management, and the team members are Nitin Chahar, Janvi Bhatnagar, and Harshita Jaiswal. The first runners-up is Team Hades from XIMB, and the team members are Bhavna Dora and Ganesh Samanta. The second runners-up is Team IITM from IIT Madras, and the team members are Akash G and Poonam M. Please give a huge round of applause for the winners.
Before we move forward, let's sit back and enjoy the conclave video, Voice of Students, made by Matrix, the marketing club of KSOM.
In the age of disruption, marketers must be adaptable, creative, and data-driven. They must embrace new technologies and trends, but never lose sight of human connection at the heart of marketing.
Hi everyone, Animesh this side. Very proud alumnus of Kids School of Management. I'm currently working with PepsiCo, and I think as a marketing professional, I take immense pride to speak to all of you. I think it's exciting times. Marketing is no more the old school stuff. A lot of changes have happened. In fact, the change has been sea change, and a lot of cool stuff, new age marketing stuff, AI-driven data insights, some really cool digital innovation, and social media emergence.
As a young marketer, the biggest challenge I faced was keeping up to date with the rapid technological advancement and the changing consumer behaviors.
Essential skills for today's marketer include data analysis, digital literacy, creativity, and adaptability. They must help in data interpretation, leveraging the technology, and crafting compelling stories to resonate with the customers.
The opportunity gave us the ability to think in various perspectives of budget and optimization of social media sites in order to increase the visibility and conversion range for our virtual company.
Hello, I am Bhavna.
I'm Ganesh.
Thank you, KSOM, for giving us the opportunity to participate in the Marketing Conclave 2024.
We basically had to understand how digital marketing initiatives are planned, and I had to formulate a strategy so that we could maximize our revenue outcome from digital marketing.
The simulation was very well organized and maintained, and I'm looking forward to participating in its future events. Thank you.
The keynote speaker of this conclave is Mr. Partha Sinha, President and Chief Brand Officer, Bennett Coleman and Company. Mr. Partha Sinha is a prominent figure in the media and advertisement industry. He is known for his extensive experience in marketing, brand building, and strategic planning. He held key positions at major companies like Ogilvy and Mather, Publicis, and McCann World Group. Sir, can we please have you on stage?
Thank you. Can I use a hand mic? Why not?
this is better. I can't stand there and speak. Okay. Thank you for that warm welcome. Like I don't know whether I'm at all deserving, but when it comes, you take it. That's the gig. Okay. So, distinguished faculty, I have huge respect for faculty always because we are what we are because of faculty. My fellow corporate warriors, I'm really grateful that I've been given this opportunity to address all of you. But the reason I'm here and my heart is completely with people who are sitting from row 5 onwards. So whatever I'll be talking, it'll be primarily addressed to them. So I'm sorry, like rest of the, distinguished guests. So, because I believe that we have been trying. It's not that we are not trying. But is our generation completely successful? I don't think so. We have left a world with 3 wars currently going on. And, so we haven't been doing particularly well. So I have far more expectation from people who are now, graduating in the real world. The story is the real world, like corporates will come to later. The story is you will be actually living in the real world. So I have huge expectations from people who are sitting from row 5 onwards. My heart is with you, and I'm completely confident that the world will be in better hands when you guys go out in the world and start sort of influencing the world much more than what you're doing sitting here. Okay. Having said that, thank you, KSOM, right? KSOM. What is the short form? KSOM, right? So thank you, KSOM. I couldn't have expected a better, welcome. I landed in Bhubaneswar, and thanks to the kind courtesy of some people sitting here, I could see Lingaraj temple and eat kanak and kasha mangso, right? Kanka and kasha. So it was just amazing. Thank you very, very much. So having said that, so I'm in a particularly happy mood, though I was a little confused that it looked like a formal conclave, but it was on a Saturday. So jeans, yes, but formal. So I put on a jacket on top of a t-shirt. So excuse me if I'm looking ridiculous, but I was really, really confused. Can we have the first slide, please? Yeah. And do I have a clicker? Because this is very unnerving for me, for somebody else controlling the PowerPoint. Do you have a clicker? Oh, sorry. I don't have that. No. You will not be. I would need a clicker. I'm sorry for this tech confusion. It's on both sides, yeah. But don't click, because my presentation is, thank you. Will it work? Does it work? If it doesn't matter, then I suppose. Just take the presentation off, no? So that, working? Great. Sorry about the confusion, really, really sorry. So, well, we are here to talk about marketing, or, I think the key part of marketing has always been brand building, because that's what good marketeers do. You know, marketing related to sales, I have a theory for that. It's like when your father leaves a house for you, you can either rent the house and get, rental income, that is sales, because somebody else has built the asset. Or you can be a great marketeer and build the third floor, fifth floor, seventh floor. So that's what a great marketeer does. A great marketeer enhances and augments a brand. So therefore, brand building to me is always the core of marketing. So if you say brand building in the age of disruption, so I was thinking about it, what is disruption? If we have to say it in kind of one simple way, so I think it's actually brand building in the era of intelligence, and I'll tell you why. This is what has interrupted us. Na? I was originally putting only ChatGPT, then I thought there would be some people from Google in the room, so I had to also put Gemini. I don't use Gemini, I use GPT-4 and ChatGPT. But this is what has disrupted everything, no? Generative AI. So my point, therefore, was that can we look at the principle of marketing or the principle of connecting with people through the eyes of intelligence and try and say that are we in the right direction? Or is there something that can be questioned? So my whole thing is a bit of a provocation. This is what I believe in. You need not necessarily have to believe in this, but the idea here is so that you can at least, when you disagree with me or agree with me, you have to ask a few questions. So that was my entire purpose, and that's why I'm saying that my address will be mostly for the people who are sitting in fifth row onwards. Okay. So intelligence happens to be the primary ingredient for brand marketing, especially in the digital era, right? I am more intelligent than the consumer. That is net what the marketeers claim to fame is. I can outwit the consumer, right? So hyper-personalization, enhanced customer experience, data-driven decision-making, automation and efficiency, right? So again, I didn't write these 4 points. Who wrote this 4 point? ChatGPT 4.0. Okay, so ChatGPT 4.0, I said, so what are the things that is happening with intelligence? ChatGPT 4.0 quickly told me, and I didn't actually disagree. This is true. I shouldn't be talking only about 4.0. Let's say generative AI has done it, okay, because others, the Gemini guys may feel a little left out. I have a quick question. Who's he? Anybody knows? Yeah? Sam Altman, right? What did he do? Claim to fame? Sorry? Yeah, Open.ai, right. So, we had hosted Sam Altman from Economic Times in a conference. So, I think it was during the conference or maybe just after that, somebody asked him a question. I think I remember who asked him the question also, Kunal of Cred. So he asked him a question, a very interesting question. And the question was, what have you learned about humans after working so many years with artificial intelligence? So Sam had a very lovely answer. I will never forget this answer. He said, after so many years, I realized one thing. Intelligence is overrated. Saying when I was growing up, intelligence was everything. How smart a kid is. How smart a person is in the room. It used to be the talking point. Look at the smartness, brightness, intelligence. And he said, as I started working with machine intelligence, I figured out that the idea of intelligence is very, very overrated. It is actually a property of matter. At one level, I was shattered because I have grown up with that, intelligence Brahminical system. You go to IIT and then you go to IIM and then only your father will be happy, right? So that was the system. I mean, all of us have grown up through that kind of a system. So at some level, I was shattered. At some level, I was extremely happy because I think that gives a very different viewpoint of the world, not just the world of marketing, but a very different viewpoint of the world. If intelligence is the property of matter, so do you understand it can easily be democratized? So therefore, intelligence through the power of machines can actually be democratized, and that is what the disruption that artificial intelligence, especially generative AI, is bringing to the table, right? So then, as marketeers, what should our thinking be? Let's first address the problem with intelligence. Intelligence has problems, let's face it. So we put intelligence on a pedestal, so वो standard point है ना, मेरा बेटा और बेटी class में सबसे intelligent निकला. I mean, I'm yet to see a mother who is happy with the child coming 7th in the class. I mean, not everybody can come first in the class, right? But I catch hold of a mother or a father and say, what about your child? He say, see, देखो वो ऐसे overall first नहीं आया, लेकिन humanities में first आ गया. The whole thing of, intelligence hierarchy is a complete bane to the society. The desire for high IQ. Everybody has to have very high IQ, right? EQ has become fashionable these days. Oh, HR थोड़ा एक दो slide डालता है EQ में. But EQ is just about fashionable, right? The search for the intelligent answer. We are always looking for the intelligent answer. What is the most intelligent answer, isn't it? But who do you remember? The brightest classmate or your closest friend? I mean, of course, it's a rhetoric question. So, who would you remember? There's no doubt about who would remember. More often than not, the brightest student also happens to be a bit selfish and all. Sorry, but it happens, the topper who, information arbitrage, he doesn't want to show you his papers and stuff like that. So, no, I've been there, done that, so I know. Okay, so, but when it comes to collective intelligence, this is where we falter the most. This is from MIB, so don't judge me. Listen, I watch MIB. MIB is very cool. So, Men in Black. You have to watch MIB. At times they come up with really smart answers. So this is what MIB said. A person is smart, but people are dumb. So collective intelligence somewhat is an oxymoron. We could be very intelligent. Put 10 of us in a room, boom. We don't know what happens. The whole thing comes down to a ground level, and I'll show you. The issue with collective intelligence is this. There are 20 people smart enough to buy a car. They get into a crossing, and all of them think that they can go earlier than the other guy. See? And this is what is the picture of collective intelligence. This is what happens in every city, every crossing. So, we have to depend on the intelligence of the traffic constable to come and, declutter the whole thing. Right? So human intelligence in a collective is a problem because of this. That as human beings, we do not or we cannot share pure information. We share prejudices and biases. When I tell you about something, I always will put a layer of my prejudice or my bias on top of that. Otherwise, it is not possible. So agreement, therefore, is possibly always the worst decision. You're agreeing around a bunch of prejudice. So internet, for instance, was supposed to be the information superhighway, right? It was supposed to be an exchange of pure information, and therefore, pure information is always brilliant, But let's look at internet through social media. What did we end up exchanging? What exactly happened? We use words like libtard, prostitute, a bitterly divided and unfriendly world. This is what we got, right? We call each other libtards and prostitutes and that kind of stuff. Basically, we ended up having a bias and prejudice superhighway rather than an information superhighway. So see, intelligence is taking us to some interesting places, right? Because the problem with intelligence is a zero-sum game. It is about winning. Intelligence wins the argument. Wisdom contributes to the discussion. See, it took me ages to understand this. Because we come from certain kind of background, so some amount of arrogance comes naturally with us. So we sit in a room and we say that I have to win this argument. No. If you are talking to the other person with empathy, you will have a richer discussion. You don't have to win the argument every time. Let's see this oxymoron called military intelligence, right? What happens? That at the end of military intelligence, there are always a few dead bodies. I'm sure there were fantastic military intelligence at Gaza, Palestine, right? There will always be a few dead bodies around that. And we use our intelligence to retaliate. We see it as a win. So some military intelligence does something in Pulwama. We do military intelligence. We drop a bomb at some other place. So that's what happens with intelligence. And technology, therefore, has always been seen as a unidimensional progress code. It will make human beings smarter and more intelligent. And that's where the issue is. They call the fourth industrial revolution, which is the age of intelligence. It was manufacturing, technology, and then finally we are coming to what is called the age of intelligence. So everybody and everything is getting smarter. Even there are smart TV. I really don't know what is smart about TV. I end up watching the same dumb stuff. So yeah, it only can kind of suggest that how to become dumber. Robots and apps are making us more intelligent every day. I was at my alma mater at IIM Ahmedabad, and everything, including the course material and half the stuff is on apps. So I asked them what exactly is happening through this, and they're saying it's faster, smarter. So I didn't argue, but I said, of course. In fact, Eric Schmidt said that I defy you to argue against me that making people smarter is the wrong goal. So the tech guys are very clear. They want to make the world far more intelligent. And this is where we need to take a pause and think about it. What will happen by becoming more intelligent? Also, data as intelligence. Because if you see our data models, when you pull back and really think about it, we learned data from CIA, KGB. They have been using the way today marketeers use data. They have been using it forever. They knew everything about what we do. Today, marketeers are very happy. I know what this guy is doing even when he's not buying. CIA knew it much before. They knew what people in other countries were doing. Forget about your own country. So we learned it from them, basically. So truth is, it was always information about you that can be used against you. Think about it. If you pull back and think about how marketeers say, ostensibly it makes life easier. It doesn't. I'll again prove. So Siri is suggesting how many more products and services you can buy. That Siri has gone bonkers now. It keeps on telling me that I have to buy apartment in Gurgaon. I think they've penetrated to that level. Then, if you have bought this, you may also like this. What is happening? It's not making my life exactly easier, right? You are trying to push product. So you're trying to out-intelligence me. There was a very famous meme. I hope there's nobody from Amazon here, right? Then I'll tell you the joke. Nobody from Amazon, no? I must tell you the joke. So there's a fantastic meme. This is the famous Amazon thing, right? If you buy this, you may also like this. So when Jeff Bezos was dating his wife's friend, so somebody put two pictures and say, if you buy this, you may also like this. I had to tell this joke, but I wanted to know that nobody from Amazon is there. Otherwise, there would be some, fatwa against me or something. So it claims to make our lives better, but actually it makes valuations and balance sheets better. Isn't it? The last one I want to talk about on this is, when I took my little child to Disneyland, because when you have a little child, you take him to Disneyland. So me, my wife, and my child didn't understand so much, but both me and my wife were thrilled with something called the Disney band. So they used to have a band, which will tell you what to do in that ride. This ride you will enjoy depending on... I was saying, this is outstanding. They understood me. They are trying to make my life better. They are helping me. Much later, maybe 15 years later, I was in a marketing conference in New York. And the girl who came up with this idea of the Disney band was making a presentation. And I was very interested. I was like sitting in some front row, second row or something and listening to it. And she said that the entire purpose of it was upselling lunch. The KPI was lunch upselling. So the success of the Disney band, which is ostensibly created for making children's lives better and their parents' lives better, the primary KPI is to upsell lunch. So they used to measure whether a $30 lunch has been upsold $40 or not. I think I can rest my case, right? Now enters, I don't know how to say this, ChatGPT and Gemini. To be politically correct, I put Gemini in this presentation. Usually I put only ChatGPT. So, okay, enters ChatGPT and Gemini. So intelligence is now democratized. I used a paid version of one of these. See, if ChatGPT is quite, basic, if you are being chipda, you pay the $10 a month, you get a version which is way, 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 way better. So in about less than a minute, it could generate this. It could do brand name, it could do brand personality, it could do customer persona, it could do marketing strategy, website copy, content creation, on-page SEO. The whole thing took less than a minute. What are you thinking? Why am I going to class, right? If ChatGPT can do it in less than a minute, the problem is what you know. The problem is, anybody knows this painting? Anybody? See, Sam Altman, all of you know. Andy Warhol, none of you know. Ye baat thik nahi hai. You have to also know about Andy Warhol. If you know about Sam Altman, you must know about Andy Warhol. He's a famous painter, and this has multiple layers of meaning, and the obvious meaning you know. The reason I'm using this meaning for this particular case is, now what? Where do you go from here? Because people will put it in a paid version of generative AI, and fatafat, everything will come out. The problem is, it will be more or less similar, or anybody can come up with it. So where do you go from here? If this is not disruption, then I don't know what is disruption. Because the truth of disruption is they don't need us anymore. What we have learned over the years is what we use here to come up with brand name, to come up with marketing strategy, SEO, website copy. We have used our intelligence and our collective knowledge to come up with here, come up to this place. Now what? This is the issue, na? So let's address the issue. And let's address the issue in a slightly provocative manner. How about empathy? We spoke about intelligence, right? How about empathy? Do we ever think about empathy in a business context or in a marketing context? Empathy is always social, right? Empathy is always towards people who are unfortunate part of the society and stuff like that. Empathy is never about, empathy doesn't become a central business discussion in most of the cases. So this is what Einstein said. He's supposedly one of the most intelligent guys. And see what he talks about empathy. He says empathy is patiently and sincerely seeing the world through other person's eyes. It is not learned in school. It is cultivated over a lifetime. So, ingredient for us to become better people. It talks about respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. I must tell you another anecdote about citizenship. So I met a lady who had come from, I think one of the European countries, I'm forgetting, maybe Germany. So she was doing research on India. So she was halfway through her research. So I asked her, what are some of the top line things you found? He said, you know what? In India, I found that people use the word consumer many more times than they use the word citizen. Saying when people talk, I realize she's right. We don't use the word citizen, but we use the word consumer far more. So I said, what is your guess? Why is it happening? And she gave me an answer. It stopped me on my track. She said, maybe as consumers you have got more rights than you have as citizens. You can at least return the stuff on Amazon. Try returning the road. You have paid tax for it. So, yeah, the point is, because in many cases, our fundamental starting point has never been respect. Our thing is always that I need to sell something. That person could be having his or her own life. So maximum I would do is try and understand the consumer as a human being. It's the best we have done so far in marketing. They're trying to understand the consumer as a human being. But I haven't developed huge amount of respect or huge amount of, fellow feeling or citizenship. So empathy and marketing, is there a possibility? And I think empathy should be the core ingredient of marketing. But when we say that marketing and branding is all about seeing the world through the customer's eyes, then what is the meaning of seeing it through the customer's eyes? It is not about that I am smarter than him, so therefore I can see whatever he can see. This has been the approach so far. I am requesting you to rethink. Rethink and see that if you want to deal with that person the way you deal with your own parents, the way you deal with your own family members, the way you deal with your own classmates. So marketing need to learn and teach from intelligence and insight, where like massive thing in marketing, right? What insight did you find out? The most abused word in marketing. People put observation and call it an insight. Two, empathy and foresight. Empathy leads to foresight. And foresight is the bigger ingredient for marketing, and that is where we can actually outwit. Here also I'm talking about. We can actually outwit generative AI. Maximizing the individual and the enterprise. This has been the center of everything. The center of data intelligence, the center of data analytics. We must move to maximizing the collective. And I will give you 3 examples from this year's Cannes on, actually 2 from these 2, and then subsequently I'll give you another example. That I think if the intelligent part is being replicated by machines, and the intelligence part has got democratized, then empathy will be the winner. Eventually, in fact, I even think that machines need to be taught empathy, and I'll come to that. So, maximizing the collective. So it's a beautiful case, Pedigree does a little work for, stray dogs and adoption of dogs. But it was always separated from the main business, CSR. That's not, then the brand is not empathetic. What you are doing is, you are also doing some good stuff. But their main work was very different. So some young person in Pedigree stood up one day and said, why it has to be separate? Why can't our main thing include adoption of stray dogs? So look at this case study. I don't know whether by pressing this it will work.
Adoptable. Adoptable uses machine learning to transform a basic
You can play the video from the beginning.
Nationwide animal shelters say they're approaching a crisis level.
Shelters are pleading for help, many now way over capacity.
Pedigree and Nexus Studios present Adoptable. Adoptable uses machine learning to transform a basic photo of a shelter dog into studio-quality photography. That shelter dog can then be inserted into any digital pedigree ad. Each ad directs people to a personalized landing page. Here, they can learn more about the dog they just saw. And when adopted, that dog is instantly dropped out of media rotation. Now, every pedigree campaign can feature an adoptable dog near you.
Adoptable uses an AI model that is trained to understand the exact visual composition and the nuance of the specific dog. Fur length, body shape, and color identity can all be customized to match the individual dog waiting in the shelter, right down to its unique markings. And because the rig is fully augmentable, the dog can be positioned to suit any media format.
But currently, 1 in 5 adopted dogs are returned to shelters. Using geographic data like proximity to parks and household sizes, Adoptable matches dogs to the locations that suit them best.
Adoptable is transformational for us at Pedigree. Soon, every dollar we spend on media will not only help to bring our products to the world, it will help bring adoptable dogs to the world too.
This is where I think marketing should go. Now every single pedigree ad will come with an adoptable dog. Every single one of them. So it's not about 2% of my turnover goes into CSR. That is what the government has asked you to do. But you as marketer should start thinking that what can I do which can bring a change? And the center of this thought is empathy. They used intelligence to arrive at empathy. That's the beauty of it. If you see the way they created 3D models and machine learning to create studio level photography of stray dogs, how used geo-targeting to make sure that the stray dog is close to you. Everything is standard intelligence marketing practices, which everybody does. But I think the reason it has become so big was because empathy was at the heart of it. The other one, and this is my all-time favorite case study, when you actually, I will not talk anything about it, let it play, and you see how smart brands are thinking with empathy at the core of it.
The magical train was called Imagination, leaving in its wake not smoke, but a trail known as inspiration.
Every MRI scan makes a unique sequence of sounds, so you can predict when each sound will occur in the scan. We created children's audiobooks to match the sounds of the most common pediatric scans, syncing story moments precisely with each sound in the scan. Now, the stories give new and delightful meaning to all MRI noises. This noise becomes a clumsy robot.
Hey, boy turned on a tiny robot by mistake. What a mess it made.
And the loud sound becomes a brave spaceship.
Lodging laces in a dance, our heroes sailed on with great advance.
Os casos em que as crianças de oncologia vêm fazer várias vezes este exame, é muito importante termos um projeto como este, com história e com sons, para poder ajudar essas crianças a fazerem os exames sempre que seja necessário.
Our pilot in Portugal was a success. We are eager to expand with multilingual stories throughout millions of MRIs worldwide. This is just the beginning.
Vê-la feliz é uma pequena vitória nesta grande batalha.
Eu pensava que ia ser horrível, mas até foi divertido. Posso falar de novo agora?
What a beautiful story, right? They could think about it because somebody cared. I don't know how many of you have done MRI. I think all of us have done MRI. Some injury somewhere we have done MRI. You know the sound, right? And imagine a little kid going through that sound, and then suddenly somebody comes up with it and said that I will make sure that the kid can go through it. That is how much they cared. And that's why they have come up with this. Big question. Can technology enhance empathy? Technology can enhance intelligence. We have seen that, right? It's proven now. Technology can make you more intelligent, smarter. Eric Schmidt, Google, he said, right, that technology will make everybody smarter. But can technology enhance empathy? My point is, in the current form, no. Because what happens is, when you talk about artificial intelligence, we say it will make us, like leapfrog. It will make us more efficient. But if we say a word like artificial empathy, there's a thing called language strategy. You know about it, right? Because we use language as a strategy to accept or reject something, right? I think at a language strategy level, we will reject artificial empathy. We'll say empathy artificial कैसे होगा यार? वो अंदर से आना चाहिए. तो intelligence artificial कैसे हो सकता है? वो भी अंदर से आना चाहिए. So the point is, even at a language strategy level, you will see that you will naturally reject it, saying empathy can't be artificial. Come on. So, but my submission is, perhaps machines and robots can succeed where we are failing. And this is the place where I'm asking you to think. The good part about machines don't have biases and prejudices. So even in AI model, it's very difficult to teach biases and prejudices, right? And that's why the answers are more or less similar. Peer learning. When one machine learns, every single machine can learn. It doesn't happen with humans. When one learns, it happens in your class. When one learns, he or she doesn't tell the other one because he or she wants to get more marks, right? So it doesn't work like that. Information arbitrage is a normal human. I was about to say virtue, and I'm correcting myself, saying vice. Because we keep information with ourselves to win. So pure information exchange. So the real talent today, honestly, because everybody thinks that marketing will become coding, right? Because we'll have to code and produce stuff by where we can succeed in the marketplace. But the real talent today, more than skill of coding, is to crack the code of empathy, the courage to assess creations through emotion, goodwill, and benevolence. That is the real challenge. Coding becoming more intelligent, machine becoming, like there's GPT-4o, there could be 5o, there could be 6o, whatever. It will keep on leapfrogging. But this is the real challenge. Success in volatile environments requires learning of how to apply data compassionately in response to new opportunities. This is the point. This is how you manage volatility. You have to apply data compassionately to new opportunities. There are plenty of examples, and I'll tell you. So data is not left brain. Marketing is not an engineering problem, because data is the platform that can allow the left brain and the right brain to come together. Typically, we all thought that data analytics is a left-brain thing. Data analytics is as much right brain as it is left brain. You have to allow your right brain to start working. Otherwise, the standard process is that we don't. There are enough and more examples, especially from developing markets. There was a two-wheeler company used data marketing to turn women's bike into a symbol of progress and empowerment. There's a car company used data to turn its dealers' profitability into progress and advancement of their families. So there are enough examples. But we also must remember that tech is as much about the heart as it is about the brain. We are making a mistake by assuming that tech is all about the brain. It is as much about the heart as it is about the brain. This is the last year's festival communication of Apple. Please take a look.
Isn't it a pity? Now isn't it a shame how we break each other's hearts and cause each other pain? How we take each other's love without thinking anymore, forgetting to give back. Isn't it a pity? Some things take so long, but how do I explain that not too many people can see we're all the same? And because of all the tears their eyes can't hope to see, the beauty that surrounds them, isn't it a pity? Not too many people can see we're all the same. Not too many people can see we're all the same.
How's it going?
This is possibly the world's best tech company. This is how their communication has started looking like. And here we are trying to see, how we can outwit the consumer. My submission. that successful brands of the future care about people and not branding. This will be the definition of successful brands tomorrow. They will not care for their branding, their profit, their valuation. They will care for people, and profit and valuation and branding will be following that. There's a story, this is something that I was also involved in. There's a story of DEI. DEI happens to be a very nice thing to talk about this, right? You know what is DEI, right? Anybody? No? Are? Huh? Absolutely. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Good. So this has become a good to say things, but do we actually care about that? How much do we care about it? You know, how much do we put it at center of some of our thinking? So this is something, many of you may have seen this, the result of this. When I play this, you will understand. So look at this company, how this company looked at DEI, or how much they cared about, you know, a non-representation of women in some of the fields.
And the problem is this: women are not making it to the top of any profession anywhere in the world.
Today is International Women's Day, and one Wall Street firm is marking the occasion by placing this statue, a little girl staring down the iconic charging bull.
The new image was put up by State Street Global Advisors.
A powerful little girl.
Representing women's daily experience of having to face a ton of bulls.
There's certain values like diversity that have a return.
The fact that the industry has acknowledged this fund is quite important.
The most famous girl in all of New York City.
Conten Fearless Girl.
겁없는 소녀란 이름의
La Niña Sin Miedo.
People young and old are flocking to her.
The fearless girl on Wall Street has already made a lasting impression.
It's the hottest selfie in town still.
As she's become a social media phenomenon, Fearless Girl has also become a broader symbol of female empowerment.
19,000. 25,000. 28,000. 30,000 people have already signed a petition to keep the statue here longer.
The Fearless Girl will be allowed to remain at her post.
This statue has crystallized this moment in history.
My generation fought for the women of today, so that little girl is saying a lot.
This is the definition of true caring. They actually created you know how difficult it is to create a statue and put it in New York City in front of that bull of the Wall Street. You know how difficult it is. They went through that. You know, I mean, I was lucky to be a part of it at some other different level, but it is just amazing. It shows that they actually care about not putting 50% women in the workforce, but they actually care, saying banking, especially investment banking, had become a boys' club. So somebody need to stand up, and they created this fearless girl. And finally, please remember this. This is the founder of Undercurrent, Mike Aruz. This is precisely the reason human empathy needs to be at the center. Saying, I tell my friends about your brand not because I like your brand, but because I like my friends. Your brand needs to be worth it. I am talking to my friends because I like my friends. If you don't understand that empathy, don't try to come and stay on my page in Twitter or in Instagram, right? So this is, in sum, what I want to say, that empathy eats intelligence for breakfast. This is a learning of 30 plus years of life. It took me a long time to understand this, but once I understood, it's absolutely clear that empathy eats intelligence for breakfast. Intelligence is overrated, especially in marketing. It's never about outwitting or convincing your customer. It's about patiently and sincerely seeing the world through the consumer's eye. The old world of marketing ran on intelligence, how to hoodwink the consumer. We had put claim level ingredient. We claimed it has got iron where it didn't have iron. Only legally we could claim that it has iron, right? We cross-sold in the name of customer service, right? We cross-sold. I did it. I used to work with Citibank. We did it. We cross-sold in the name of customer service. People think the new world of marketing is about coding. The real talent today, more than the skill of coding, is to crack the code of empathy, the courage to assess creations through emotions, goodwill, and benevolence. The brands of the future will care more about people than branding. This is my submission. I know it's slightly counterintuitive, but since I'm addressing to a set of people who will change the world tomorrow, so please give it a thought and see whether it has any merit or not. Thank you. One day I accidentally discovered that Q and A on the keyboard are actually next to each other. So I took a photo and I always use it. So any questions I'm happy to answer. No questions, I'm happier. No. That we did a photography then. I mean, and of course, if you have to, find me, you can always find me at Twitter. Or, sorry, I should write X. Sorry, really sorry. This branding, rebranding, branding, these are all individual egos. This has got nothing to do with the consumer, but it's okay. So, yeah, on X, I'm at Partha Sinha. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. The stage is now open for interaction.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am Jyotirmay Dash. And my question is, how has Bennett Coleman & Co. adjusted its marketing strategies to connect with the younger, more digitally savvy audiences amid the growing trend of digital consumption?
Very good question. The problem with the younger lot is not that newspaper, they don't read anything. So that is a bigger issue than just a newspaper. They don't read damn nothing. I've been trying to make my son read. He is also in an MBA school. He's in a school called Wharton. So I have been trying to make him read. He reads a little bit, but I have a feeling that he reads to just make me happy. The point is, if they're not reading in the current form, they are consuming stuff in other format, right? So what we are trying to do is some amount of, not just format innovation, also some amount of engagement innovation. So a lot of work is going on. It's mostly on the drawing board. Some amount of stuff we have already done. Because interestingly, what we have seen is they're not reading it. But the moment we go to their campus and do an event like a Fresh Face with Bombay Times and Delhi Times, then they, we did in Malhar is a very big event which happens in St. Xavier's, Bombay. So we actually published Bombay Times for Malhar because we understood that their issue is a little different from what the issue the rest of Bombay would be interested in. So by trying to understand them a little better and putting their issues forward, we saw some traction. I won't say that it's still a massively successful thing. It's a struggle for everybody. It's a struggle for authors. It's a struggle for newspaper. It's a struggle for anybody who writes anything, that how to get them to read. I think format innovation and engagement innovation are the two areas where we are working on.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions?
Good morning, sir. My
Yeah.
name is Ayush, and I have a question for you.
Yes,
Sir,
Ayush.
What emerging technology